This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 18th day of May in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. While it was hoping to add a total of 6 additional workstations, health officials have advised the Guyana Elections Commission that 2 more workstations could be accommodated at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, in keeping with physical distancing requirements.
I saw a report emanating from COVID, which report has given us permission to establish 2 more workstations. The report has expressed some concern about our total adherence to the stipulations that they had previously given to us. And in giving permission for 2 additional workstations, they are emphasizing that we should adhere to all of the stipulations in terms of social spacing, in terms of wash basins, in terms of sanitizing. We should adhere to all of that as we establish the 2 additional workstations.
Last week, the Elections Commission chairperson sought the advice of the health officials from the National Coronavirus Task Force on adding more workstations for the recount. The health officials visited the conference center and toured the areas that were earmarked for the additional stations. The addition of the 2 workstations will bring to 12 the number of workstations that will be used to complete the vote recount. This afternoon, the recount of the ballots for Region 2 were completed, and that paved the way for the start of ballots for Region 6. As of this afternoon, ballots were being counted for Regions 3, 4, 5, and 6, following the completion of the ballots for Region 1 and 2. The Guyana Elections Commission has said it has staff members in place to take up positions in the new workstations, and the Commission is also hoping that the pace of the recount will quicken with the additional stations. More news coming up in a moment.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes. Parents and guardians, you are encouraged to tune in to the Guyana Learning Channel, Cable 29 or Channel 42 for daily educational and interactive learning sessions. The nursery program airs from 6 hours to 9 hours. Primary programs from 9 hours to 12 noon. We also air informative documentaries from 12 noon to 13 hours, and our secondary level programs are aired from 13 hours to 15 hours. Please continue to listen to our radio broadcasts. The interactive radio instruction for grades 1 to 3 daily on Voice of Guyana from 9 hours 30 to 10 hours for grade 1 pupils, from 10 hours 30 to 11 hours for grade 2s, and 13 hours to 13 hours 30 for grade 3 pupils. Please remember to tune in to benefit from these educational opportunities. A message from the Ministry of Education.
We can reduce the risk of contracting viruses by strengthening our immune system, and one way of doing this is by eating as healthily as possible to support optimal immune function. Micronutrients essential to fight infection include vitamins A, B, C, D, and E. and the minerals iron, selenium, and zinc. Here's what we need to know about the foods we can eat to get them. Vitamin A is found in fish, egg yolks, cheese, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and beans. Vitamin B9 folate is abundant in green leafy vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, and it's also added to a lot of the flour that we use in Guyana. Vitamin B12 is found in animal products, including eggs, meat, and dairy, and also in some fortified milk. Vitamin C and vitamin E helps to protect our body when we're fighting an infection. Good sources of vitamin C include oranges, lemons, limes, tomatoes, and cherries. In Guyana, one of our cherry has the amount of vitamin C needed for the entire day for a person. Vitamin E is found in nuts, green leafy vegetables, and vegetable oils. Although sun exposure allows the body to produce vitamin D, food sources including eggs, fish, and some milk and margarine brands may be fortified with vitamin D, meaning some extra has been added. Most people need just a few minutes outdoors most days to get enough of the vitamin D needed. And beyond diet, there are other measures you can take to stay as healthy as possible. No smoking, reduce the intake of alcohol or none at all, exercise every day, and sleep and rest well. And please remember to reduce your intake of sweetened and carbonated beverages and drink lots and lots of water.
Welcome back. Well, moments after meeting with officials of the Guyana Elections Commission and the CARICOM high-level team scrutinizing the vote recount, President David Granger made it clear on Sunday that his government will be accepting the declaration of results after the recount. On Saturday, Attorney General and APNU AFC candidate Basil Williams raised some questions about the legality of making a declaration from the recount. Questioned about that position, President Granger said as president, he is speaking on behalf of the government.
As president of Guyana and leader of the government, it is my policy that any declaration coming from the chairman of GCOM will be accepted by the government of Guyana. I speak for the government of Guyana.
The president also said he believes whatever declaration comes from the Elections Commission would be legitimate and in accordance with the Constitution of Guyana.
I'd like to iterate that whatever declaration is made by the chairman of the Election Commission would be regarded as legitimate by the coalition government.
There have been questions raised about the credibility of the elections as a number of alleged discrepancies have been unearthed during the recount. The Elections Commission has not yet indicated how it intends to address those anomalies and other issues being raised by the political parties. The recount is being observed by a number of local and international observers and scrutinized by the high-level CARICOM team. There are now 7 new cases of the coronavirus in Guyana following tests carried out on 54 persons in the past 24 hours. The Ministry of Public Health revealed today that 6 of the 7 new cases are men. Dr. Hortensia Hamilton, who is the Director of Primary Healthcare Services, said the trend is worrying.
Today we are in our 9th week since the first case of COVID-19 was diagnosed. And sad to say, we have not begun to slow the rate of transmission as our numbers keep climbing every week. Over the last 24 hours, of the 54 tests done, 7 were positive. Of the number of positives, 6 were males, with 1 being female. A clear indication that this disease continues to spread predominantly among men.
Dr. Hamilton noted that Guyana has now completed a total of 1,218 tests, with 1,094 of those cases being negative. There are now 69 active cases, and a total of 45 persons have now made full recoveries, as the death toll remains at 10. There are 3 persons in the ICU. Dr. Hamilton offered praise for the officials who have been doing the testing. She said the integrity of the tests remain intact.
We wish to thank the staff at the National Public Health Reference Laboratory for showing up every day and working beyond the call of duty. As you are aware, testing is ongoing at this facility, and to date, we have had no incidents that can threaten the integrity of the results produced by the lab. We applaud your outstanding efforts for making an impact in this pandemic as we work towards containing this disease.
It was also revealed in today's report that the health officials are worried about the skyrocketing cases in neighboring Brazil.
As of yesterday, the total number of deaths has surpassed the numbers in Italy, France, and Spain. I cannot overemphasize how troubling this is for us, especially as our residents in Region 9 continue to traverse the borders without fear. Region 9 has reported only one case, which was imported, and with all the efforts by regional authorities, we urge the residents to comply and stop the spread of this disease in your region.
While the official border crossings with Brazil have been closed, there have been a number of reported incidents of persons using illegal crossings to traverse between the two countries. With 49 of the active coronavirus cases in Guyana housed at the Diamond Hospital, the medical institution has found itself shouldering the bulk of positive cases in the country. But over the past week, some patients have complained in letters to the press about the food they are served and other circumstances they have to endure at the facility itself. In one letter, a patient complained about the nutritional value of the meals, which are served for breakfast, which at times would include whole wheat sandwiches and boiled provision with sausages or other stews. Now, some doctors at the hospital believe they are being vilified in the media, and many of the stories are not fully accurate. One of the doctors reached out to news source on the condition of anonymity and explained that while the situation at the Diamond Hospital may not be at its best, it is certainly not the worst. It was explained that there are 3 teams of medical personnel who work with isolated coronavirus patients. Each team is made up of 3 doctors and 1 nurse. The teams would each have to work 7 days straight at the hospital. During those 7 days on duty, they would live at the hospital and be responsible for everything related to the coronavirus patients. Speaking on behalf of the other colleagues, a doctor who spoke to news source said the same meals that are shared with the patients are shared with the medical team on duty. The doctor admitted that while sometimes the meals might not be up to one's dietary preference, some patients have been exaggerating the situation because they don't really want to be in isolation. The doctor said at the Diamond Hospital they have had to sacrifice a lot to care for the patients, and they do so with little appreciation and understanding, and the same goes for the cleaning staff. The staff at the Diamond Hospital has been underground working extremely hard, the doctor said. According to the doctors, while it may just be a small number of patients who complain, it makes it appear as if the medical teams are not doing a good job. It was also noted that most of the support for the medical teams fighting COVID-19 goes to the Georgetown Hospital, and the praise goes there too, while it is the Diamond Hospital that has to deal with the largest number of patients. Let's tell you now that the National COVID-19 Task Force has given clearance for a group of Guyanese law students studying in Trinidad and Tobago to be allowed to return home, but under strict guidelines. News source has learned that as part of the guidelines for their return, all of the students will have to be tested for the coronavirus in Trinidad and Tobago before their return to Guyana. They will have to stand the full cost for their return and will also have to subject themselves to self-quarantine once in Guyana. While some of the students intend to take up the offer, others have reportedly indicated that they will remain in Trinidad until the full opening of the airports in the two countries. Additionally, news source has learned that clearance has also been granted for 70 cruise line workers attached to the Royal Caribbean Cruise Company to return home. Many of those cruise workers have been stranded aboard the cruise ships for several weeks, and it is likely that their employers will fund their return to Guyana. However, they are likely to face quarantine in Guyana upon their return for 2 weeks. The National COVID-19 Task Force is said to be examining applications from several other large groups of cruise workers and other Guyanese who have been stuck abroad with the closure of the airports because of the global pandemic. There is a group of Guyanese flight attendants for LIAT who are also hoping that clearance will be granted for their return. Some of them have been stranded in Barbados and Antigua for the past 8 weeks and have been forced to stand the cost for their own accommodation. They are hoping that their plea to be allowed to return home will also be considered by the National Task Force. On the police blotter, the lifeless body of a female security guard was found early this morning in the Repentier Cemetery, not too far from the funeral home. She has been identified as 68-year-old Margaret Dawson of Allboystang and Temeri. She worked with professional guard services and was last seen alive last evening when she left her Allboystang home for her job.
She left there for yesterday from Temeri and she's walked. She said she ain't coming home because the son did transportation. She ain't come home today. But this day she ain't coming home, she's never coming back. Loving and caring, nice. If all these people could talk, my mother nice, my mother don't get problem with nobody. My mother nice. My mother's trying to make peace.
This morning, an alarm was raised when her body was found. Investigators suspect that she was attacked and thrown against a grave in a cemetery and possibly sexually assaulted. Her clothes were ripped off and her body was in a naked state. A suspect has since been arrested, and the investigations into the early morning murder are ongoing. Well, almost a month after he escaped from the Lucia prison, 32-year-old Ghanaian Dan Raj was recaptured on Saturday. Dan Raj, who was also facing a murder charge, was spotted at the Parika bus park and the police were alerted. Police investigators quickly arrived on the scene and arrested the man, who admitted that he was indeed a prison escapee. He was taken to the Parika police station and later handed over to the prison authorities. He's now likely to face a charge of escaping from prison. The Guyana Prison Service has commended the Guyana Police Force for its swift action in following up on a report about the man's presence in the area. Across the region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Coven and East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane in East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013 with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000-barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
Anyone who believes he or she was exposed to coronavirus COVID-19 must stay at home and not mix with other family members. This quarantine is to help stop the spread of the virus at home and in our communities. While at home for 14 days or 2 weeks, here are some valuable tips you must follow. First, get a separate room which family members will not be allowed to enter during those 14 days of quarantine. Ensure this room allows you to get lots of fresh air. Second, if you must meet family members, stay at least 1 meter or 3 feet away from them. Third, when it comes to personal hygiene, other members of the household should use a separate bathroom. If you must share a bathroom, ensure you always clean the taps, doorknobs, and all utensils with soap and running water. Fourth, limit the number of visitors to your home. Anyone in quarantine must not meet and greet any visitor. Fifth, practice frequent hand washing with soap and running water. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds every time. If there are no soap and running water, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 75% alcohol. Sixth, always avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Seventh, after using face masks or gloves, always throw them away. Put them in bins with covers. Remember also to always use separate plates, drinking glasses, cups, and other eating utensils, towels, bedding, and other items for the family member who is in quarantine. And don't forget to use detergents every time to wash all utensils, bed linen, and clothes used by the person in quarantine. Please remember to use the thermometer, not the back of your hands, to monitor the body temperature of the quarantined family member. Monitor them 2 times every day. Be sure to write down the temperature. If he or she develops a fever or temperature above 37.5 degrees Celsius or 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit, cough or has difficulty breathing, sore throat, body aches and pain, immediately call the COVID-19 hotline by dialing 180 or 181. Protect yourself and others. Play your part in helping to reduce the risk of contracting or spreading COVID-19. This is a message from the Ministry of Public Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO. For more information, kindly visit the Ministry's website www.health.gov.gy or its Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages.
Across the region right now, the St. Lucia government on Saturday said it would begin the gradual reopening of its borders on June 4, after indicating that the island had been able to curb the spread of the coronavirus that had infected at least 18 persons. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet told the nation that as of June 4, the country will begin to gradually open the borders to regional and international travel, after health authorities had on Friday shared their strategic plan to reopen the economy and the country in phases. The Prime Minister said that the 5-phase strategic reopening focused on health, safety, and the general well-being of the public, and had taken into account advice from public health experts and feedback from various stakeholders. In neighboring Brazil, the mayor of Brazil's largest city, Sao Paulo, has said its health system could collapse as demand grows for emergency beds to deal with coronavirus cases. The mayor said the city's public hospitals had reached 90% capacity and could run out of space in 2 weeks. He accused those who flouted lockdown rules of playing Russian roulette with people's lives. Sao Paulo is one of the country's worst-hit regions, with almost 3,000 deaths so far from the coronavirus. Brazil's far-right president, Jair Bolsonaro, has been strongly criticized both at home and abroad for his handling of the country's escalating coronavirus cases. And finally tonight, international news. The first hints that a vaccine can train people's immune system to fight coronavirus have been reported by a company in the United States. The company Moderna said neutralizing antibodies were found in the first 8 people who took part in their safety trials. It also said the immune response was similar to people infected with the actual virus. Larger trials to see whether the jab actually protects against infection are expected to start in July. Work on a coronavirus vaccine has been taking place at unprecedented speed, with around 80 groups around the world working on them. Moderna was the first to test an experimental vaccine in people. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.